Sam Bankman-Fried, what an absolute character. First, he becomes a billionaire. Then he scams everyone. Then he continues scamming everyone. Then he says he didn't scam anyone. Then he gets thrown into prison. Then he gives the decrepit old Democrat establishments, aka Maxine Waters, the Sam Bankman F. And F doesn't stand for Fried this time. Then he gets out, because obviously he's too rich at this moment to actually prosecute. And now he's back into jail. What a ride.
Sam Bankman-Fried is back in jail. Previously, he was living in a multi-million-dollar house on house arrest, but according to prosecutors, he's been using that time to tamper with witnesses. Twice. Which, you know, is...
I mean, one time wasn't obviously good enough, and one time is not obviously good enough to actually, like, prevent that from happening. But 2 times now we're looking.
Highly illegal, but I guess who knew a guy who stole billions of dollars couldn't be trusted? But even more surprising is learning the fact that he apparently has been talking about this show in between tampering with those witnesses on house arrest, which we're going to talk about. But first, if you're just catching up with what's been going on with SBF, it's been a while, and here's the 30-second recap since we...
I already recapped it, don't worry about it.
Sam Bankman-Fried committed the largest financial fraud since Bernie Madoff, and he's a terrible League of Legends player. So, you know, already 2 strikes, but it gets worse because he proceeded to go on...
I think being a good League of Legends player is way more terrible than being a bad one.
The world's most annoying apology tour after that, talking to everyone.
Please ask him if he thinks what happened was fraud.
I mean, I'm deeply sorry about what happened.
A lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's who I am at all.
The reason it was so annoying is that Sam kept repeating how sorry he was that...
But he said he's sorry. Coffeezilla, you're one of the people who actually popularized the idea that you can just say sorry for scamming people and then everyone's supposed to forgive you. So you can't complain about him saying sorry. You're literally one of the people who pushed this.
None of it was his fault. $8 billion from his company went missing, and he has no idea how it happened. He blames it all on his ex-girlfriend he hired, but that's not his fault either. He even tried selling that story to me back in December and accidentally admitted that he may have been commingling funds, which is a huge no-no. And when he admitted that, he got really mad at me, and he said this.
But you have monopolized all of these discussions, Coffeezilla. You need to let others speak, and you need to respond to what I'm saying and not grandstand as much here.
Now, I'm sad to say that is where me and Sam officially got off on the wrong foot. And that will play into the story later. But 6 days after my grandstanding, Sam himself would be grandstanding in handcuffs because he was arrested in the Bahamas and then extradited over to the United States, where he faced...
Exactly as I predicted. Of course he's gonna get extradited. Nice stuff.
13 charges. Mostly it was fraud, but there were some campaign finance charges in there as well. Because,
don't worry, he said sorry.
In between orchestrating billions of dollars being siphoned from customers, he also had the audacity to try to buy, you know, the government. Republicans...
Bruh, there is no way he did not sleep with her. There is absolutely no way. No shot. Like, he probably did it willingly and even wanted it. I'm not gonna lie.
Republicans, Democrats, it didn't matter. He wanted to buy their influence for the laws he wanted to pass, which is a story, by the way, which we broke with the citizen journalist Tiffany Fong. Here that is.
You need about the same amount of both parties here.
No matter how you slice it, things were just looking bad for Sam at this point, and good for truth, justice, and the American way of waiting until billions of dollars are stolen before you do anything. And since we last talked, mostly things have remained the same, although there have been some changes that for Sam have been a mixed bag, legally speaking. For example, his team got 5 of the charges against him delayed to a future trial. Not only that, they almost got the campaign finance charges dismissed on a technicality until they didn't. But most importantly...
Wait, last I heard, the campaign finance charges were completely gone. And that was, well, this video is how old? 11 hours, okay. So, yeah, last I heard, but that was like 10 days ago. Maybe stuff has changed, but that no one's going to investigate that part. I mean, it makes sense that no one's going to investigate that part, because that would involve, you know, themselves looking into themselves. And as we all know, the US government is one of the cleanest, uncorrupt governments, because they don't look into themselves. And when they look into themselves, the bar for actually proving any of this is not high. It's literally so far up it's invisible. So yeah, they're probably not going to look into themselves. Or if they're going to look into themselves, they're probably going to find that themselves are completely innocent, obviously.
And the biggest problem for Sam is that he can't seem to stop breaking his bail conditions and getting caught doing so, which brings us to today. See, when you get out on bail, you're essentially making a promise. They won't lock you up, but in return, you gotta follow some basic rules. You know, you gotta be where they tell you, you gotta show up to your trial, and you can't do certain things. You know,
yes,
like
basic
commit
stuff.
crimes, contact witnesses, or for instance, try to call the press 1,000 times and send 100 emails to the media to try to manipulate the narrative. Can you guess which one Sam broke? It actually got so bad, by the way, that the judge had to tell SBF to stop contacting potential witnesses with encrypted messaging apps, which led to him getting banned from smartphones, which somehow he still managed.
Okay. So let me explain America right now. You get let out, and then you start contacting witnesses. You get found out because you're too stupid to hide it, and nothing happens. Essentially, that's what he just said.
Managed to call these reporters and apparently then proceeded to leak the private diaries of his ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who, by the way, is going to be testifying against him in the trial and was a key figure as she ran Alameda Research. This, by the way, is what you call witness tampering. And it was the final reason that SBF's bail was revoked after he repeatedly violated it. Allegedly, he had over 100 phone calls with that New York Times reporter who then wrote this story inside the private writings of Caroline Ellison, star witness in the FTX case. And I don't think it takes a genius to realize why the lead suspect in a criminal trial leaking damaging documents to the New York Times about the star witness against him is so obviously wrong.
Now hold up. I'm pretty sure no one in the government in America would agree to that. Pretty sure, yeah, that's completely fine by government standards. I don't know where he's getting this crazy idea that that's not fine.
He's back in jail. Although, he's not going to have to wait long because October 2nd is when his criminal trial starts, which you can guarantee we will be covering extensively. I've been waiting for this moment since the day I heard Sam Bankman fraud.
I thought you were waiting to make another Logan or whatever Paul brother video because they actually do good.
Go to prison for the rest of his life. But, you know, I was surprised to find out that Sam hasn't stopped thinking about me either, according to a leaked phone call we received. I apparently have a strange relationship with this guy I wasn't even aware of, which is only the second most surprising relationship I found out Sam had this year. Just recently, we discovered in one of his 1,000 phone calls to the press, he talked to the reporter Tiffany Fong, who we mentioned earlier we've featured, and he name-dropped me, Coffeezilla, as someone he particularly hates.
Yeah, no, that was,
Go on.
Other one I really hate, I think it's Coffeezilla, the guy who yelled at me for associating with bad people.
Now, I'll be honest, I feel horrible about this.
Yeah, bruh, I really hate that. Oh, fuck, he was so... Yeah. I mean, damn. Again, I think Coffee's gonna completely bust at one point because he is completely ego-driven, honestly. Again.
Did I yell at Sam for associating with bad people? How could I do that when he only created the biggest fraud since Bernie Madoff?
He doesn't even remember your name properly. He literally doesn't probably even remember this guy at all. I just want to point that out. That's most like he has bigger things to worry about than a rando on the internet. You know, and if you don't believe that, you're kind of crazy.
The poor guy, his
Or a part of the government.
feelings are clearly hurt. Guilt by association, it's just not fair. But I did wonder, who specifically was he upset that I brought up?
He gave two examples.
Is it the Dan Friedberg?
Dan Friedberg and Mark Cohen were his examples.
How dare I use examples of Dan Friedberg being hired at FTX as their chief compliance officer? You know, Dan being a notorious lawyer known for covering up a cheating scandal in poker, where they apparently had a backdoor God mode where one player could see the other player's hands and no one knew about it. How could that possibly be relevant that the same guy who covered that up was also hired to Sam's company, which now we know had a secret backdoor used to steal money from FTX customers? Could it be that he was hired for his past, not in spite of it? Or maybe it's just coincidence that the same
Here in the business world, we call that skills.
guy is now being accused in a new lawsuit of paying, quote, exorbitant hush money to a former FTX employee. All I pointed out was that hiring Dan Friedberg as your compliance officer makes as much sense as hiring Jack the Ripper to work in a woman's hospital. It doesn't happen on accident. But now I also want to talk about the other person he mentioned, Mark Cohen. I simply pointed out that it's the same lawyer who defended Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, the trafficker associated with, you know who.
And?
Which, you know, I'm not saying that hiring a criminal defense lawyer who defends the worst criminals makes you the worst criminal. Just like I'm also not saying that hiring a compliance...
I mean, if someone accused me of similar crime and I had to go to court, yeah, I hope I got that lawyer, bruh. You kind of want the best one around, and the one that most likely was picked for that case is definitely the best one around. Yeah, this makes complete sense.
Compliance officer who allegedly covers up potential crimes means you're covering up potential crimes. But I am saying that Sam really knows how to pick his lawyers. My boy really assembled the dream team. You know, it's like he hired the Legion of Doom and now is saying, hey, why are you bringing that up? Why is that relevant to whether I'm involved in Doom-related activities? But, you know, why am I really even defending myself? I suppose it's kind of a badge of honor to be hated by this guy. This fraudster.
Right, he doesn't remember your name.
This bronze tier trash. But I can't help but feel a little sad that me and Sam have grown so far apart since the days I would ambush him in Twitter spaces. So I want to continue the dialogue here, the strange relationship me and Sam have together.
Yeah, Coffeezilla. I'm giving him 5 year stops and he's destroying himself.
Look, I know he watches the show.
My guess is gonna be he's gonna fake the outcome of something that he's investigating, that he put in a lot of time in, but it didn't really add up to even, well, currently he doesn't do investigations, he more like just gets a bunch of victims of some kind of random crime, and then just checks out what has already been posted online from, you know, the FBI and all of these sources about what they have done, and then just talks to the victims and makes a sob story. Sooner or later, that approach is gonna run out. Because it's been a long time since he has actually made a video where he truly investigates something that has not already been, priorly to him making the video, posted online.
Talks about it, and apparently is being allowed a laptop in prison for some reason.
Oh, that's
so
great.
I thought I'd take this moment to offer a short message to Sam himself.
He's definitely gonna hear it.
How's prison? I hope you're hating it. And I look forward to covering your trial. That's the truth. I'll try not to grandstand so much this time for your sake. Oh, and give me a call.
Bruh. I can't. Coffeezilla videos are just absolutely something else. Anyway. Kind of fun. It was kind of fun. The fact that Sam Bankman-Fried is back into jail from not being in the jail, from being in the jail, from not being in the jail. Kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, that's it. This was User Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.